To most people, the thought of being buried alive is horrific. However, in 1937, a French 19-year-old named Angelo Hayes had to live through this very nightmare. Hayes was in a horrible motorcycle accident that sent him flying headfirst into a brick wall. First responders pronounced him dead on the scene, and the accident left his face so disfigured that his parents were not even allowed to view his body. 2 days after his burial, his body was exhumed by the request of a local insurance company as they needed some more information for their liability investigation. When his body was removed from his coffin for inspection, it was discovered that his body was still warm. Hayes had in fact not been dead at all, but was actually in a deep coma. In fact, it was that very coma that had kept him alive. After surgery and rehabilitation, Hayes recovered fully and went on to be quite a celebrity due to his miraculous rise from the grave. Another nightmare is being trapped in an elevator, as it is in free fall, especially if that elevator is in one of the tallest buildings in the world. In July 1945, Betty Lou Oliver, who was an elevator attendant at the Empire State Building, survived this exact scenario. On that foggy day in July, a B-25 bomber plane crashed into the 79th floor of the Empire State Building. The cables of Lou's elevator were compromised by the crash, and she was trapped as the elevator plummeted down 75 stories, all the way down to the Empire State Building's basement. Luckily for her, the 1,000 feet of elevator cable also fell to the ground and created a cushion for her landing. Miraculously, she was able to survive. In the year 2000, Dr. Anna Bagenholm survived the worst case of hypothermia ever seen after being trapped under ice. The young doctor was skiing on her favorite trail in Norway with some friends. They were navigating their skis around a waterfall when Bagenholm fell headfirst into the water and became trapped underneath the ice. For 40 minutes, she hung on to life after finding an air pocket. Despite this incredible luck, hypothermia quickly got the better of her, and she fell unconscious underneath the unforgiving ice. When rescue workers arrived and pulled her out, she had no pulse at all. After being flown to the hospital, her body was slowly warmed up over the course of 9 hours. Remarkably, she survived the ordeal and only sustained minor nerve damage to her hands. The fear of flying, or suddenly not flying, is one of the most common fears, and often with plane crashes, few survive to tell the tale. But in 1971, a 17-year-old girl, Julianne Koepke, survived a plane crash with an amazing story. On her flight from Lima to Pucallpa, Peru, her plane caught fire when the wing of her plane was struck by lightning. The plane shattered in the air, and all 6 crew members and the other 91 passengers died. But Koepke somehow survived an unrolled 10,000-foot fall to the ground, all the while strapped into her seat. She then had to spend 10 days surviving in the jungle until she was finally rescued. The most interesting thing about her ordeal is that if she hadn't fastened her seatbelt, it's likely she would not have survived. Surviving a night in the woods is the stuff horror movies are made of. Most people can't even go an hour without their cell phone, so it makes it even more impressive when you hear about Yossi Ginsberg, who survived alone in the woods for 19 days. While trekking through the Amazon jungle, Ginsberg got separated from his companion when their raft lost control. His companion somehow made it to shore, but Ginsberg went over a waterfall and was swept away. He would then spend the following 19 days all alone in the dangerous and inhospitable Amazon. Yossi clung to life by eating fruit and raw eggs that he stole from nests. His unbelievable adventures, lost in the jungle, included a late-night encounter with a jaguar, being eaten alive by swarms of termites, and almost drowning in a bog. His misery and desperate battle for life only ended after he eventually found a search party of locals. But instead of being permanently scarred by his ordeal, Ginsberg went on to use his experience to become a motivational speaker. For more top lists just like this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to check out our other lists, and we'll see you all next time.